Welcome, everyone. This is Pilot Niels, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at latest in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week, I'm joined by Krister.
Hello.
And Cinders.
Hello.
Well, you heard her the first time.
Yeah, at least I heard her that time.
I didn't hear the beginning and the end of what she said, though. There we go. Okay.
You'll bring an entire marching band next time.
All 6 of them.
Okay. All 6 of them.
Cinders, what you do is I'm sure you've seen it. You can get those like model stand things where you can like attach like rods to each kid, and then you can hang like 6 models off of each side of them. And then when they move their arms, all of them move their arms in sequence. You could create you could like 10 times your marching band just by doing that. See, it's all about numbers, right? Not about quality of play or music, right?
Right.
Just want numbers. Okay.
Just numbers.
You need to create fake kids.
Right. Let us head into our news for this week, where we'll begin with update 41.2.1. We have some release notes for those. And we'll begin with news and noteworthy. We have the Veil of the 9 tweaks that they made. Nameless raids can once again spawn in solo instances, but only for players with landscape difficulty turned on. That means if you don't have landscape difficulty turned on, then you're not going to see any nameless raids within solo instances. And I guess I'm going to be satisfied with that since I don't have landscape difficulty turned on. So I'm not going to have to worry about it. Now, this will take effect regardless of whether difficulty has any effect on the instance otherwise. Also, inside instances, raids will not start to appear until level 20 to ensure that players have access to corruption removal.
Oh, that would be awful. That would be...
Yeah. Also, raids will not appear in raids regardless, as they cannot grant rewards because they're not raid quests, so therefore they won't drop rewards when you're in a raid. And some raids have complex boss mechanisms that the raids can disrupt. So they've decided that no, they will not allow the raids to spawn within them. Now, some people were complaining about this, but maybe they're finally told that, well, even if we did put them in, that you're not going to get any rewards for it. Maybe that's what hushed.
That's why they need that. Okay, so that's why they need to create a whole new classification of wraiths for that. So
raid wraiths.
Raid wraiths. There we go. Raid wraith. That's pretty cool. Oh, that might have to be like a name of something.
Yes. Well, actually, there is one possibility because they were talking during a item this week where they were thinking about what they might be doing in the future for the raids when they get past Moria, when they enter into Moria and the like. Are they going to be continuing to work as they do now, or are there going to be changes to there? And one possibility that they're considering is maybe having an instance that would, where you could have them, because there's some people who never have an opportunity to have the Nazgul fights because by the time they get there, it's over.
Right.
So they're thinking is that perhaps creating a special raid where you could do this, but they will be, if they do it, they don't know, okay, how are they going to tweak things so it would fit? Because right now, they expect to have about 48 to 50 people in to take down the Nazgul, and the largest raid space size that they allow currently is 24. So that means they'll probably have to tone down the Nazgul so it would actually be doable by 24 people.
Well, would that be, or would that be an open world type of thing?
Well, that's the point. Well, right now the Nazgul is already an open world thing. The current.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So therefore, if they're talking about a potential thing that they might do in the future on allowing raids is to have a special raid instance where you go with 20 with a known group and try that, or probably try to form your own group. But as I said, that's something I think is just the beginning of an idea, not something that is solidly down yet. So we have to see on that. But right now, raids, they're not going to appear in raids because of troubles that they have with them. And also, open landscape spawns remain unchanged. So therefore, the changes they made only affect the raids in either raids or within regular or solo instances. The Nazgul's Dread Aura stacks faster on their enemies. The Nazguls now properly build up their corruption of strength during combat. The Nazgul's teleport anti-crowding mechanism should now themselves be more lag tolerant, allowing the Nazgul to disperse the rabble more effectively. So these are all little tweaks from the Nazgul to make the Nazgul more effectively and to make sure that the number of players in there don't bring the server to its knees. There is now a higher enemy count threshold at which the Nazgul Banish will no longer respect marks and rings, which is now about 100 players. And this condition should hopefully only arise if there is a very sudden early rush in the fight, such as when the Nazgul appears close to a fast travel point, allowing large numbers of players to reach it quickly. They're hoping to maybe to tweak things to reduce the number of cases where a Nazgul appears near fast travel points, because they don't want 200 people all rushing in at the same time in order to go after a Nazgul. Nazgul vitality is increased by 50%. The fights were running somewhat shorter than intended, which was making it hard for more players to be able to engage with the Nazgul. Shadowy and mournful raids will now despawn after 5 minutes if not defeated, rather than 10, though harrowing raids will still persist for 10 minutes. So those are the tweaks relating to raids. And also there have been a couple of tweaks to the Lore Master. The red line trait bonus Flame of Honor causes Wizard's Fire to fix burning embers in place of its target. This effect now correctly respects the status of your dry kindling trait and will no longer tear up burning embers on your target without the necessary ranks in dry kindling. And also, call to pet skills in Redline no longer benefit from bonuses on your frost damage. And that is it for update 41.2.1.
Hey, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, it was a short update.
Well, I'm certainly interested. I like the concept of the race, but that is an interesting thing to think about, is how do you deal with them in the timeline after Mordor falls, and so I'm kind of interested to see what they come out with that.
Well, I'm right now considering enough about what they're going to do with Moria, but yeah, even Mordor, because when Mordor falls, you're not going to have the 9 around anymore.
Right.
Are there going to be some Karguls that are going to take over the slot or something like that?
Well, now, okay, so when the 9 went into the shadow, did they take their, trusted servants and family with them too? So maybe instead of confronting the 9, we're confronting the relatives of the 9.
The relatives of the 9.
I'm his third cousin removed. Maybe race it. Okay.
I am just trying to imagine, would I be scared of a third cousin once removed of a ring raid? I mean, I cannot think of it as being anywhere near as powerful as the ring raid itself.
No, maybe that would be the running joke. They're supposed to be these terrifying beings, but he's really just an accountant.
Right. Yes, that sort of could be a potential problem there. Yes, we can have scary accounting numbers, and that's how they try to terrorize you. Is they show, all right, here are the numbers from.
This is how much it will cost to send your hobbit to college.
Ah! Yes, that is it. That's right. How much it'll cost to send your hobbit to college?
Now, as for the wraith spawns, so some of the funnest moments I've ever had in this game is when there's been these bugs. So one was it Thorang's crown, where when that first came out, there was this glitch where the mobs would continuously respawn. And so we went and had this after fighting these guys for 20 minutes and just wave after wave after wave, we're starting to realize this isn't stopping. But it was fun because you didn't expect it at all. And then the other one we had was in Mordor, and it was in those platforms where you have all the warriors and priests and everything. Well, one of them had glitched and it had spawned like 4 times, but all of them were right on top of each other. So if you saw a single guy at that thing, there was actually 4 guys there. So we roll into that one, but we had a full raid at that point. So I'm sorry, we had 12 people at that point. So we have 12 people. We're not expecting this, and all of a sudden, there are dozens and dozens of these guys, and we're in this full-on fight for our lives, desperate struggle. So it might be fun to have those wraiths spawn near. Maybe just spawn them right in Bree. Oh man, can you just imagine that right in the festival, right at the party tree? Maybe just a wraith stepping out. Who
That would
wants
be
to
freaky.
party?
Well, let's see. Raids appear right after you defeat something in combat. Fortunately, there aren't too many of those happening at the party tree.
Oh, yes, there are.
What?
All the little flames. Those little flames that float around.
Oh, he's so cool. That would
The
be
flames
cool.
that float around. Yeah, but those
so
are
awesome to have, that'd be so awesome to have that spawn.
yeah,
Okay.
but those flames are usually very low in level, aren't they?
But maybe they have good connections.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is that if you kill a gray mob, it will not spawn a raid.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what the minimum color is, but they say close to level. So usually when they mean
Okay.
that means at least not gray. There's enough to get XP on it.
Boring.
So that means you might get a level 10 raid if a level 10 character kills one of those. All right. We also had a episode of We Have a Cave Troll. This is episode 2 of this. This is where Orion and Scenario get together and talk about game design and LOTRO and the history of Lord of the Rings Online and little things that are upcoming and the like. And this week they had 2 things that they mentioned in particular that caught my attention. The first one is that one of the things that they're looking to do for the expansion is something called baubles. Now, they didn't go into too many details of what baubles are, but it looks like that this is a new item in our collections panel, and that it will include some of those items that are currently in your inventory, but really don't need to be there. Things like all those fireworks that you get when you reach certain
Dwarven
year levels.
candles, perhaps.
Well, I don't know about dwarf candles because I think consumables. I don't think they can do anything about consumables. I guess we'll have to find out on that. But I talk about all those fireworks that you get. Remember, every single year it seems like you get a new new permanent firework in there. So that sounds like something that might be able to go into there.
Okay, so it sounds to me then like the concept is that this would be like a holding area for them, where you could get them out of your main storage, but you could still use them. You can still activate them.
Be able to activate them because that means you can activate them, but you don't have to carry them around anymore.
Yep, I'm a fan.
So that's the impression that I'm getting on this. Oh, I guess we'll find out more about that when they get closer to preparing the release for Legacy of Morgoth. And see what
then
they
you
were
can have
actually
that
able
glorious moment where if they go through with it, where you clear out 20 spaces in your inventory, and then 37 seconds later, those inventory spaces are filled again.
Well, that is the problem, of course. Well, we'll see how much it manages to save, but we all know that the average player is going to fill up the number of inventory spaces as they currently have, no matter what. I'm
Yes.
sure. I'm sure Cinders is used to that particular phenomena.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny was starting Gilly Gandalf was just remembering the amount of junk you get just for having played the game for so long. You're just like, I can't open all of this. If I open this stuff, I'm going to run out of space before I open it all. And it's just like this. I mean, it's cool that I get all this stuff, but
Right?
can it just be somewhere else than my backpack?
Yeah, there is that. So I'm hoping at least some of that stuff is going to go into this baubles panel so that you won't have
Yeah,
to
I
worry
like
about
that.
it anyway. And they're hoping that will help to reduce the number of items that they have to run and keep track of whenever they transfer your character or anything like that. So we'll have to see how well this works. Also, they noted that next Wednesday and for the 4 weeks after next Wednesday, so therefore for the next 5 weeks, they are going to have previews on the landscape for Legacy of Morgoth. So we're going to get to see what the new areas are going to look like on the various areas of Near Harad. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit on the deserty side is the impression I'm getting on there. So we'll have to find out when the time comes. But so anyway, they will be starting next Wednesday. And that will be at 2 o'clock on Wednesday on the LOTRO, on the Twitch LOTRO stream. And they'll also be posted onto YouTube afterwards.
When you said it was desserty, I was really, really hoping you were talking about Dairy Queen equivalent, but you're talking about like
I'm talking about lots of sand and arid. Yes. Yes. Deserty, not deserty. So let's then head into our store sales. Cinders, what's on sale this week?
On sale this week, there are the following. For a limited time, you can get the Rakish Patrons Coffer at 35% off. So through September 15th, you can take advantage of that offer. You can also stand out from the crowd and get 30% off of select shared wardrobe, select cosmetic outfit slots, mounted combat trait specs, select cosmetics, and through the 12th. And then your weekly coupon is for a free combat run speed boost times 5 with coupon code MustGoFaster, now through September 12th.
Whee! Must go faster. And that's it for the news on this week. So let's go and look at our week in gaming.
I just remembered something.
Yes. You want me to go to Cinder's first?
Yeah. No, man. It's like jazz. It's just free form. I'm just gonna take it, man, and go.
Okay. Well, Cinders, what did you do this week?
So this week in gaming, I actually did not really play electronic games. I played board games, and it's really kind of the last 2 weeks, just because of being gone last week. I was babysitting for some folks who were attending PAX West, and in between their trips to and from PAX West, we played board games. So I got to learn to play a game called Namiji, which is like fishing. So it's a board game that it's set in the South China, or the Sea of Japan, and I'm confused because my dad was talking about being stationed in the South China Sea for a little while earlier today when I was playing it with my son. But it's set in the Sea of Japan, and so you get these they have really cool little boat tokens that you use as your characters to move around, and then you can do night fishing, and then they have like a little bit of a game of chance built into it where you can try and catch crustaceans. There's sacred rocks that will give you bonus points. You can get panoramas that are just gorgeous of dolphins and whales and octopuses, however you want to say it and pluralize it. And then you get to stop at the docks and get cards from the docks, which are like food cards, and sometimes they're bonus cards. And then at the end, you tally up your score, and so far, out of the 3 times I have played this game, I have won every single time. So feeling like I'm doing a lot of winning with that. I also learned to play mahjong, Chinese mahjong specifically, with my friends and some of their friends that are now going to be my friends because they don't have a choice since they've been introduced to me. For the record, that's how it works. Your friends, when you introduce them to me as, hey, these are my friends, they become our friends. That is how this works.
Supposed to be something beautiful and caring, and
well, they are
terrifying. Now you're my friend. We will always be friends. You can never escape.
Well, I mean, say we should just ask the 2 of you, and I mean, you guys have been roped into that as well. You can blame Sans. Anyhow, so I did learn to play mahjong. That was pretty cool. So I also got myself a mahjong set so that I can teach my family to play it, but we have not had a chance to do that yet because I'm still waiting on the table protector to come in. And then the other game that I got to play is called Flamecraft, and it's so adorable. Okay, so it's like you unroll the game pad. It's not like a cardboard game. It's like this cloth game pad, and it's this village that you unroll on your table, and it's got like a park, and it's got like little shops, and then you get your shops and you set them up, and you're a dragon character, and the goal of the game is to be the dragon with the best reputation in the village. And so you go around to the different stores and you use potions and things like that to increase your reputation, and to collect tokens and such. And then at the end, you add it all up, and I also won at that one. So my friend did not want to play it with me again afterwards. Not because I gloated, but because I got a better deal on purchasing the set than he had gotten. He's a little miffed at me about that still, but I was like, I'm sorry, I went directly to the manufacturer. They had a really good deal. So yeah, that's the next game that I'm going to be teaching my family to play with me. But I had lots of fun doing that, and my friends came back with great stories from PAX West. They're trying to talk me into going with them next year. I am not sold on going and standing in lines for 5 hours, but we shall see if my mind gets changed between now and next Labor Day.
Let's just put this out there. What if it was standing in line for 5 hours to see a daily?
I don't know.
Or maybe Tweaky from Buck Rogers? I'd stand in line for 5 hours.
There are things that I would stand in line for 5 hours for. I just don't know that those would be the things that I would stand in line for 5 hours for.
Tweaky does not sound like someone that I would stand 5 hours.
But I did get to have some of the best dumplings I have had in a very long time. So there's a store called Dozone, and I was so bummed to find out that it is only down the West Coast and in Texas, of all places. But they have really, really, really good dumplings. Their pork dumplings were so yummy. Yeah, so we had that for 2 nights. It was great. Delicious food. Yeah, so that has been my week. That and then work started. So school is in session. Yay!
Hooray!
But yeah, that's the extent of my gaming. How was your week in gaming, Krister?
It was great. Now, I had to request access to the folders, so it was kind of weird, but I didn't have access in the first place. So I couldn't have done my notes, but we would have resolved it earlier if I'd done it earlier, anyways. So I would
It's
assume.
still not showing
So
that you
this
have
is my
access
week in
to it.
gaming.
So,
No, I haven't. It blocked me. It said I needed to request. So I sent a message saying, "Yo, I need access." So
it's still not showing. Oh, there you are.
see. But anyways, I played I played with my warg a little bit. I played with Gilla Gandalf a little bit, and I played with Krister a little bit. So I'm increasing game time slowly, which is good. So far, enjoying them. I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. I'm enjoying my Mariner, but I'm assuming that's going to change at any moment. No, it's been a lot of fun, and other than that, I've been playing some ESO. I re-downloaded. I had this old kind of management game, Dyson Sphere Project. That was kind of a resource management building game. Download that again to take a look at it, and been seriously thinking about maybe taking a look at Space Marine 2, which looks pretty good. But anyways, that was my weekend gaming. Finally, what were you up to?
All right, I'll begin with our Hardened Traveler group, who managed to get up to level 45. So we headed up into Angmar and took care of the book 6 of the epic story. So we've managed to defeat that spirit, that the fell spirit that makes things all creepy and going through Angmar. So now we can safely cross the line and not get instantly killed, which is always a good thing. And now we have to decide, what exactly are we going to do? How far are we going to go into the epic story in there? Because level 45, you start thinking, okay, do we go further into the epic storyline, or do we start thinking about maybe heading towards Moria or something like that? I guess we'll have to start thinking on that matter soon. Also, my warden on the Angmar server reached level 20, and I don't know how I managed to do it, but I did manage to get the Undying title. This is despite the fact that there are times in there where I'm going to say, okay, another raise, and another raise, and another. Yes, those raids that came up were sort of make things a little bit spicy in there, and I'm sure that now that I'm level 20, those raids are going to be even spicier, since now they're going to have corruptions. So I have to remember, okay, let's remove the corruptions so that we're not going to have any trouble in it. And we have to see what we're going to go on for there. And also my junior lore master decided to head in Rohan, and I've gained my war steed, and I learned how to ride it. Now let's see if I ever actually use it, at least ever actually use it in battle. I guess that's something still to be determined.
You must take the heavy war steed, and you must learn how to trample. Period. You're a lore master. You trample them, you knock it. So you trample them, and you knock them in the air, and as they're flying through the air, you lightning bolt them. Boom. It's elegant.
I would prefer someone who is on the ground and grounded, so that the electricity would be more effective.
I just have this. I don't know that you would call anybody be electrocuted elegant.
Well, it depends on how you view it.
I'm sorry. That's just. Instead of like jerking around, they're just gracefully doing ballet movements as they go to their demise.
Yeah, and I feel like it would involve a lot of glitter, to make it, to make the lightning strike elegant. There'd have to be a lot of glitter.
Extra sparkly.
Extra sparkly.
An extra sparkly lightning bolt. I like that. It sounds like a band I'd listen to too. So.
This is like the third band name we've come up with in the last 3 weeks.
Very well. Now, this week we do not have any emails. I feel like since one, you can send it to podcast@lotroplayers.com. The Players Alliance has 2 shows. We record LOTRO Players News at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time and on Saturdays, and DDO Players News is recorded when Drac is available. And that is all for tonight then. This is 5 Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.